What's up? This is Reg, the bad guy, again with another video. This video is about most Americans are overweight. Now, I'm doing this video because I noticed this in the last at least 20 years, including myself. I mean, I was overweight, but I wasn't grossly overweight. I wasn't obese or nothing like that. So I got back in the gym and it's, worked out, and I lost at least about 20, 30 pounds and stuff like that. But, I'm lifting weights and stuff, so I mean I got still a little ways to go. I'm trying to get the love handles off and stuff like that, and the stomach flare. But it takes a long time to get this weight off, especially if you up in age. You get past 35, 40, it's really hard. I'm in the gym like 6 days a week trying to get it off, and it's working, but like I said, it takes time when you get older. Everything, your whole entire body process slow down when you get older. So you got to work a little more harder, or at least get your processes back going again like they were when you was young. So I got some stats here about how many people are overweight in America. Right here, one of them is black people have the highest obesity rate. They had 48%. Followed by Hispanics, 42%. That's not even really a difference. It's just both blacks and Hispanics is grossly overweight. And then non-Hispanics, is whites, is 34%. And then Asians, 11. I can't understand that because they don't eat a lot of beef. They eat a lot of fish. So we eat a lot of beef, so that's what it is. But I think the stats with the whites is kind of wrong. I think they always do this with these stats. Sometimes they always make it where that the whites is lower than any other race or something like that. Except for the Asians, they can't just fudge that because most Asians you see are not fat. Now there's some are fat here in America, but that's because they've been living in America, been enjoying this American lifestyle, and they have the same problems too. But by most part, Asians, they eat a lot of fish and stuff like that. And a lot of Asians say that they can smell Americans a mile away because they eat so much meat. And that meat come out of your skin and stuff, because your body cannot process all that fat and stuff like that. And it has to come out one way, and it comes out through your skin. It said here, middle-aged adults between 40 and 57 is 40%. That's about right. That's about around my age. I'm in that age bracket. So I tell anybody that's in 40 to 59, you need to work out, be in that gym all the time, and cut down on that meat. Probably get your meat content down to 20%, and then your vegetable content up to 80. Eat a lot of fruit, and that's what I'm gonna start doing this year. Is actually knock out the meat. Don't eat tuna. Probably it's a little chicken, salmon and stuff like that, and a lot of salad and stuff like that. Chicken salad, stuff like that. Try to stay off of the dressing so much. You don't want to get high cholesterol and stuff like that. So you gotta watch the dressing. But anyway, if you stick with that, you should live 50, 60 years more. At least you can get to 100. Basically, if you look at some of the studies I've been researching, we're not supposed to be eating as much as we eat. We ain't supposed to be eating like 3 meals a day and stuff like that. It's much food. We're supposed to be eating less food. You're supposed to be eating just enough to fill the stomach or fill the body functions that's needed, and that's it. So I think we overeating by most part in America. This is something. The overeating. That's why they advertise day in, day out on TV. Burger King, hamburgers, and all this, and McDonald's, and this, and going to these nice restaurants and Chili's and stuff, eating. You know, you can't help it because it sure look good. It does look good. You just want to eat it all, but you can't. And then, you know, you gotta understand that, you know, if you become too overweight, you know, it will affect your sex life. Your libido will go down and stuff, and just not only that, you just have no strength to do a lot of stuff. So you want to get out of that. Try to lose that weight. I have another stat for you too. Is that older adults of 60 and over is 37%, and younger adults at 20 to 39 is 32%. That's bad for the young people, because the young people today are a lot of young people from, I could say, the generation Y and Z. They are the victims of the fast food age. See, back when I was coming up, I'm a Generation X, and then you got the baby boomers. We had cooked the food. There was no fast food when they was coming. The baby boomers, actually, it was just creating like McDonald's and stuff, places like that. It was just starting out. But that was a treat to us when we went there. When we went on the weekend, got mom get paid or family get paid or whatever, you know. On Friday you go there and eat a hamburger there and stuff. It was a treat. But most of the time we ate dinner at the house. We cooked our food. And then you gotta understand, the fast food back then was natural. It was made from natural meat. That's why it took longer to get out. Once you go there to the fast food back in the day, it took about 15 minutes before you get your food. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But then, you know, since the fast food started growing and growing and growing, and people was working and they needed to get food, they speeded up the process. And one way they speed the process is pre-cooking the food, which come in the processed food, which started around about the 80s. You know. And I could see that my problems came from eating a lot of fast food and stuff like that. You know, your body get used to it, but then after a while your body breaks down because there's no nutrients in that food. You know, it's just there to get the food, to keep you satisfied for a brief moment, and that's it. Well, if you eat natural food, I mean, it helps the body. It give all the body the nutrients it need and stuff, and proteins or whatever. Just an amount, you know, not too much sugar, not too much salt. And that's another thing too. They add a lot of salt into a lot of stuff, especially sodas and stuff like that. Salt, sugar, processed sugar, not even real sugar no more. So this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. Let's say in the stats that poverty has a lot to do with being obese. That's true too, because you know you just can't eat. Either you're too hungry if you're in poverty, or you're just skinny because you're not getting enough to eat, enough proteins, nutrients you can eat. So either you're gonna be real skinny or fat. That's why a lot of these kids coming out real skinny now. I notice a lot of black kids that live in the hood, they're real skinny like this. Like a lot of these rappers, have you noticed that they all skinny? The other rapper before, I mean, I was slim, I used to be skinny, but the skinny, I had muscle definition. I had muscle definition to build muscles, you know. But these kids look like they can't build no either muscle mass. They don't have no mass in their body. And that comes from eating poor food over generations. Generations living in low income areas. You know, that's why I tell everybody you gotta get out the goddamn ghetto and start moving out somewhere else. Fuck them niggas. Fuck them niggas. Cause this not eating proper food, eating bad food, it's gonna either kill you one way or another. And you're not gonna be able to produce strong people after a while. They're all gonna be weak. these young kids coming up might not be able to go in the gym and lift 225 benching. That might be all they can lift because of the food, unless they take that shit, weed or shit and all that shit. But if they ain't taking that, they ain't gonna be able to lift it by themselves. You should be able to lift 225 normally. I lift 225. I do about almost 25 reps. 225. On a good day, I probably get 30. You know, at first I used to start out when I got in the gym at 135, you know, warming up. I'll warm up with 225 now. So I'm telling you that I was fed good food. My mom made sure she didn't have no artificial flavors in food and stuff like that, and eat vegetables and ate dinner. So that's why I'm still at my age be able to be in the gym lifting more than most people in the gym, and more reps, and riding a bicycle almost 4 or 5 miles a day. So, and my last comments is this: you gotta lose that weight. Food is killing America. It's not the lack of food, it's the obsession of the food. Loving the taste of the food. You have to cut it all down. So that's where we at in America. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are overweight. A lot of white people are overweight. So when I read these stats, you know, about 34% of white people are overweight, I think it's way more than that, because they're not going to tell you that, because it's more people in it. It's way more than that. I mean, if you add up the raw population of white people in America with a 34%, it's still going to outnumber all the black and Mexicans that are overweight. You like dig what I'm saying? So they still overweight by numbers, and they got it bad too. You know, quiet is kept. You know, that's one thing about the racism. Racism kind of turn a blind eye on what they see in themselves, or what the dangers they see that's coming towards them. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.